Good day, sir. Good day, everyone. I am Cadet Lugronio and I am from Group 6. And my group mate is Cadet Richard Bray Larua, Jonathan Grande, and Wendell Gomez. So, our topic is all about how radar is set up for operation. So, the general procedure to switch on a radar set first is you should visually make sure that the scanner is clear. And two is set the four critical adjustment colors: gain, brilliance, anti-clutter, and anti-rain clutter or differentiator to off or minimum. Third is set the main function switch or off, standby, and transmit. To standby, the radar set will then begin to warm up. Certain parts will require time for warming up. So 4 is set range selector switch to desired range scale. And 5 is set PL selector switch to desired position for short pulses for normal use. In some radar sets, the main function switch is marked off, standby, short, long pulse, whereby the radar observer has to choose the PL automatically every time we switch on the set. In such a case, omit this step as it is covered by step 9. So number 6 is ensure that EBL and ERBL and VRM and range rings are all off by turning down their respective brightness or control. 7 is set the presentation mode switch RM unstabilized or RM stabilized TM to the RM stabilized mode. So 8 is adjust panel lights to the desired intensity. And 9 is when the set has warmed up about 2 to 3 minutes after switching to standby, set the main function switch to transmit. Next. So in some sets, instead of transmit, the main function switch is marked short pulse, long pulse, so that PL has to be selected at the same time as switching on from standby. So step 5, in such a case, set main function switch to short pulse. So 10 is generally increase the brilliance until the rotating trace becomes visible. Then gradually decrease the brilliance until the rotating trace just disappears. So the brilliance has now set correctly and should not normally require readjustment. If and when the three other critical adjustment control, the gain, anti-cutter, and differentiator, anti-rain cutter are all off or at minimum. So 11. If a brilliance control is provided separately for the beading marker, turn it down unnecessary brightness of the heading marker. Well, first is caused by the heading marker to be border than necessary. 2. Distract the observer's attention from targets when the picture is obtained later. And 3. This control will not and must not blank out the heading marker completely, however how the control may be set. That's all for my topic, and thank you and God bless.
Okay, so good day, sir, and everyone. So I'm Cadet Larua Richard Bralty, and I'm the second reporter. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so 12 is to ensure that the electronic center coincides with the geometric center of the display. This can be done by switching on the range rings and verifying that the outermost ring is completely visible and coincides with the circumference of the PPI. If not centered properly, part of that range rings would not be visible. If necessary, center the picture by rotating the center shift as required. The next is 13. Check that the heading marker is properly aligned. When gyro is stabilized, it should indicate the correct gyro course. When unstabilized, it should coincide with the zero of the bearing scale. If not, again, it is as per as manufacturer's instruction. Usually, a spring-loaded knob is to be pulled out or pushed in, rotated as necessary, and then released. Next is 14. So, gradually increase the gain until the receiver noise is just visible as a speckled background. The setting of gain would have to be reduced when sewing short-range scales. The next 15 is test the efficiency of the set as described later this chapter. And lastly, 16, adjust other controls as necessary. So that would be all, and thank you and have a good day.
Good day, sir. My name is Khaled Luli, and I'm going to report about radar isolation, bearing accuracy, and range measurement. So first, let us start on radar resolution. There are two important factors in radar resolution: bearing resolution and range resolution. Bearing resolution is the ability of the radar to display as separate tips diagnosed from two targets which are the same range and close together. It is proportional to the antenna length and reciprocally proportional to the wavelength. The length of the antenna radiator should be chosen for bearing resolution better than 2.5 on the IMO resolution. This condition is normally satisfied with a radiator of 1.2 meters or 4 feet or longer in the X-band. In the S-band requires a radiator of about 12 feet or 3.6 meters or longer. So, range resolution is the minimum separation between two targets that permits them to be distinguished by a radar. The minimum separation in range along a given direction from radar is one-half the transmitted pulse length. So, the next is bearing accuracy. One of the most important features of the radar is how accurately the bearing of a target can be measured. The accuracy of bearing measurement basically depends on the narrowness of the radar beam. However, the bearing is usually taken relative to the ship ceiling, and thus proper adjustment of the heading line and translation is an important factor in ensuring bearing accuracy. To minimize error with measuring the bearing of a target, put the target into at the extreme position on the screen with selecting a suitable range. So bearing accuracy means angular resolution, which is the minimum angle between two targets in which they can still be separated by a radar. Bearing accuracy describes the angular accuracy for one target. So the last one is range measurement. Range measurement of the range to a target is also a very important function of the radar. Generally, there are two means of measuring range: the fixed range rings and the variable range marker, or the VRM. The fixed range rings appear on the screen with a predetermined interval and provide a rough estimate of the range to a target. The variable range marker's diameter is increased or decreased so that the marker touches the inner edge of the target, allowing the operator to obtain more accurate range measurement. That's all of my report, sir. Thank you.
So, good everyone. By the way, I'm Khaled Gomez. Range measurement. Measurement of the range to a target is also a very important function of the radar. Generally, there are two means of measuring range. The first is the fixed range rings, and the second is the variable range maker, or VRM. The fixed range rings appears on the screen with a predetermined interval and provide a rough estimate of the range to a target. The variable range marker diameter is increased or decreased so that the marker touches the inner edge of the target, allowing the operator to obtain more accurate range measurement. So that could be all. Thank you.